this theme, schooled, right? And I'm thinking, well, school could be how we learned things growing up, what to do and what not to do, you know, how to learn those things. And so I thought of two really quick stories. One, I grew up in this little town in the suburbs, and I talked about this before about how everybody knew everybody, and so as a kid, anybody familiar with that? As a kid, if you did something around the corner, by the time you got home, somebody had already called your mom to tell them. Anybody remember that? Well, I had a kind of a unique family because my uncle, who was the father figure in my family, was a functional alcoholic. So that means that he could drink all night long and get up at 4 in the morning and go to work. But what would happen is my uncle would come straight home from work in his uniform and hit the bar, where he would stay all night. And he would get so, we called it tore up from the floor up. He would get so drunk that our house was 3.5 blocks from the bar. 3.5 blocks. He would come out of the bar walking on both sides of the street at the same time. Okay, he's doing this. And he would get in his car, he would turn it on, he would hit the gas, and then cruise over to the side of the road where the car would stop, and he would sleep for the rest of the night. And so I would have to be walking around, you guys, this is kind of, you know, you gotta see the humor in this. So he was a nice guy, he just liked to drink a little bit too much. And so, but we had this kind of unspoken rule because he was very strict on us girls. You know, we needed to be home on time. So it was a running joke in my neighborhood that when he did wake up and he would, you know, make the next block and a half ride home, that if I was on the corner with my girlfriends, he would hit the horn one time, two, that meant get home. You know, because 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I had to be home. If he hit the horn twice, that meant get home quick. Because he was going to pull over and embarrass me and say, why aren't you at home? And if he hit the horn 3 times, that meant start running. Because you were really going to get embarrassed. So that's one example of being schooled. So later on as I grew up, so you guys think about your stories about how you learn things, you know, how you came to understand things as you grew up. So I'm in my 20s and I'm fabulous. I mean, this girl, okay, this girl, imagine her 25 years old, 125 pounds, okay? Oops, girl's naked again. Okay, I was loving life. Girl's naked again. Oh, imagine that. So, but I didn't say this because I work at First Person Art, so forget I said that. So we're hanging out in Philadelphia, and we're at this club called Second Story. Anybody remember Second Story? No? Yes? Okay. So Second Story was open until 3 a.m. So see, the fabulous girls could go to the 2 a.m. clubs on City Line Avenue and then hit Center City, Philadelphia for 4 a.m. So by the time we got there at 2, everybody was already drunk coming in the club. So we're fabulous, and we're at Second Story waiting to get in. And the bouncers are there to make sure, you know. And this guy walks up, so this is how he got schooled. He walks up to the bouncers and he's tore up drunk. And he says to the bouncers, I want to come in. And the bouncer says, you're not coming in here. And we're sitting watching, and this guy is over in the street, sitting there looking. So this drunk guy has a beer in his hand. And he goes, how come I can't get in? And the bouncer says, because you're drunk and you're trash, and we don't want you in here. And so the guy looks at him and he's like, what? So the guy that's standing on the corner walks over to him and goes, you know, if I were you, I wouldn't let him talk to you like that. And the drunk guy goes, what? He goes, did you see how he just disrespected you in front of those hot women? I would take that beer bottle you got in your hand, and I would bust him in his head with it, if I were you. And the drunk guy goes, yeah! And the guy goes, I got your back. Go ahead and do it. What does our drunk guy do? He wings back and he goes from Alabama with this bottle. Whoosh! He hits the bouncer in the head with the bottle. And he goes, yeah, you're not going to talk to me like that. The bouncer turns around and grabs him. And he goes, hey, hey, hey. Well, dude is down the street. He's gone. So he got schooled on how to treat a bouncer and not to believe what a stranger says when they tell you they got got your back.